How much do you know about Palantir? How much do you know about the history of Alex Karp, the name? Prior to that, CIA, when it started, the month after it got started, kind of weird. Some of the people involved, you know, how now it's a $300 billion company. Just a couple of years ago, it was a $15 billion company. Stocks just skyrocketed. I think I even recommended it a few years ago in one of the videos that I did. Trump partnering up, a lot of people with the California issue coming out saying, we should use Palantir. Why? Well, we have this technology called Gotham and Foundry. One of them knows how to judge people's behavior, similar to Minority Report, which is kind of like a cool idea. And then the timing of it when it came out is right after what some of the people were trying to do with the government, DARPA, in 2003, that they closed and they said, no, we're not doing this program, which I'll talk about later. A month later, Palantir started with Alex Karp and Peter Thiel, but the history of it's weird. The most basic thing to be thinking about, the name Palantir, where does even Palantir come from? Did you ever watch Lord of the Rings? In Lord of the Rings, there's this thing called Palantir, which obviously a guy like me, who for sure is a nerd, I follow all this stuff very, very closely. The meaning of Palantir is seeing stones. It's this stone that tells you what everybody in the world is doing today. And they named the company Palantir. So they're not even beating around the bush. We gotta build Palantir to see what you're doing today. That's kind of like somebody starts a, old folks home called Hannibal Lecter. And you're like, listen, send your father, send your mom, your parents are gonna be totally taken care of. And it's why you guys call it Hannibal Lecter? Who cares? It's just a name. Send them here. They're gonna live a long life. They're gonna be great. They're gonna be okay. Send them to our place, Hannibal Lecter. Middle here. A lot of questions that people have. We're gonna dig a little bit deeper into seeing what the hell is going on with Palantir. So if you get value out of this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel.
Civil liberties advocates are sounding the alarm on President Trump's reported partnership with a data analytics firm called Palantir.
The most recent outrage appears to have stemmed from a New York Times article titled Trump taps Palantir to compile data on Americans.
The Times reports that since Trump took office, Palantir has scored more than $113 million in federal dollars, not including a recent $795 million unspent DoD contract. Per the Times, Palantir has also contracts with agencies like DHS and the Pentagon and is in talks with the IRS and Social Security Administration about buying their technology.
Government officials told the Times that Palantir product called Foundry would make it easier for the Trump administration to merge data from all these different agencies. A former Palantir strategist, Brianna Martin, wrote on LinkedIn that she left over the company's expanding its work with ICE. She continued, quote, "For most of my time here, I found that the way Palantir grappled with the weight of our capabilities to be refreshing, transparent, and conscionable. But for me, this is a red line I won't redraw."
Many on the right are also concerned by past comments made by the CEO, Alex Karp, and the fact that Dr. Deborah Birx is on the board of the company. You remember her as one of the COVID advisors. Specifically, Karp told CNBC in 2024 one of his softwares helped stop the rise of the far right in Europe. As far as Dr. Birx goes, Kentucky Congressman Thomas Massey wrote on X, Dr. Birx is the worst type of person that gets into government, a complete hypocrite, holier than thou, telling lies, cloaked in faux science with the imprimatur of government legitimacy, and never held accountable, so she will rinse and repeat.
Palantir responded to the Times report on X, writing, Palantir never collects data to unlawfully surveil Americans, and our Foundry platform employs granular security protections. If the facts were on its side, the New York Times would not have needed to twist the truth.
Yeah, sure, Jan.
Look, we might be on the same page here because I think, this effort was pushed largely by Doge, and Elon Musk was on board with this. I know that he wanted access to people's bank account numbers, student loan information, medical claims, disability status, to know whether they're immigrant or not, political affiliations. And this is all going to be aggregated through a system that Palantir put in place. And I think that leads to massive surveillance, massive big brother. I think that, it leaves Americans extremely vulnerable. And Palantir is the backbone of all this data integration is coming from a suggested outsider in this new Doge era, we don't even know what the plans are for Doge. So like, there's questions really about what is happening with the information, and we should just trust what government says. I mean, come on, like, it's not about Trump or anybody specific. It's about the American people, literally since Vietnam, I believe, have started to question and not trust exactly what the government says for face value, and that's okay. And so there should be real questions about why one agency needs to understand all this data without using it to retaliate in any way against Americans.
I agree with you. Domestic data collection, domestic surveillance are very troubling trends. Even in the best case scenarios, even when the strongest arguments are marshaled for it, I think we should be suspicious. These are people associated with this who the right would flag as globalist adjacent or World Economic Forum or world government supportive, people like Alex Karp, the CEO, Deborah Birx, people who tinker, who don't have respect for conservatism, for the right, for principles of limited government, for principles of localism. They think that crises are opportunities for greater centralized control. These are worrying philosophical undercurrents to accompany this technology that, yes, makes me very concerned. Do you know where the name comes from, Palantir?
No, tell me.
Oh,
I should know that? Okay.
No. I don't know that you would necessarily know it.
This is Alex Karp at the World Economic Forum in 2023 talking about the primary goal of Palantir.
Go for it.
Then we were asked if we were willing to supply our product philanthropically, basically, for free. And I was very in favor of this because our primary mission is, in fact, to set a global standard for the world for behavior.
To set a global standard for behavior, that means they want to control everything. And why is it that the guys that want to control everything, the majority of them look like that guy?
sycophants for DC Matari and his schemes and his Homeland Security buddy versus, those that dare to produce research, produce the documents, so to speak, to say, this is why we should be concerned. And we should be concerned. It does not matter whether or not your phone is tracking you. It doesn't matter whether your smart TV is tracking you. We don't want law enforcement with the capabilities right now to use license plate recognition technology in almost 40 patrol cars to the tune of, in the region, by Motorola's own admission, there's 4.6 million license plates captured in the Spokane Coeur d'Alene area per month. And while now it may not be that big of a deal, eventually it will be used to implement United Nations. You will own, World Economic Forum. You will own nothing and be happy. You will be confined to your 15-minute cities, and you will be subject to your social scores. Mm-hmm. So if you are speaking out against the government, you're not going to be able to purchase certain things. You're not going to be able to travel. And again, you could say that that is extremely Orwellian thought, but look at what we've experienced the past 5 years in this country alone. And tell me that that stuff cannot be fast-tracked to start surveilling people to use as a weapon against us. Now, there's a couple things that we're going to play. Go to the next slide. We're going to hit these really fast. This is from Motorola's own disclosure. And one of the things that they say when you're using their system, the Motorola cameras and the Vigilant software, when a vehicle is identified, Vigilant Vehicle Manager provides its location, history, and can even predict where it might be in the future if officers need to contact the operator. What do you call that? Did I just see something above that said it doesn't predict vehicle locations?
Of course, yeah. Who? Okay, make it simple. Who said it doesn't
Norris
predict vehicle?
Says that it does not. Motorola's own disclosure says that it does.
There you go.
In fact, we're running out of time, so I'm not going to go through all these slides. But eventually, the entire Motorola Vigilance software is designed to be able to use cameras all over the city, not only from government, those that are on the patrol cars, flock cameras, those are these LPRs that are stationary, but they also want to use other closed circuit TV feeds. They want to be able to partner with businesses and be able to use theirs. There's a town in Indiana that has done this. Norris has no idea what he's talking about, or he's a pathological liar when he says that this is not going to usher in any kind of smart city or surveillance state technology. The company that they are contracting with has this as their model. That is their end game. And even if they're only doing a portion of it right now, they are setting this up for what eventually may become the surveillance state in Cooney County. And we're only one incident away, because